Welcome to Carol and Gary's See America Tour. Hello everyone. Carol, Jasper, and I are now in Idaho Falls for our last stop in Idaho. We will be here for 5 days. Our first outing in Idaho Falls was to drive to the Idaho Potato Museum in nearby Blackfoot, Idaho. The Oregon Short-Line Railroad, once a subsidiary of the Union Pacific Railroad, played a significant part in the transportation of potatoes to markets across the country. The 5,500 square foot Idaho Potato Museum was established in 1988 after the Union Pacific Railroad donated the building to the city of Blackfoot. Blackfoot then leased the building to a group who repurposed the building into the Idaho Potato Museum. Potatoes originated in the Andes Mountain of South America in approximately 200 BC. Spanish explorers reached Peru in 1537 and took potatoes with them back to Europe. Potatoes were first brought to North America in 1621. Unlike many crops that we eat every day, potatoes are not grown from seeds. Instead, special potatoes called seed potatoes are cut into pieces and planted in the ground. Seed potatoes are planted approximately 5 inches deep, 1 foot apart, in rows 3 feet apart. Because they are able to feed off the energy in the seed pieces, potato plants grow very fast. Dehydrated potatoes are produced in a number of large plants throughout the Snake River Valley and supply dehydrated potato products to the nation and the world. Here are the basic steps in commercially dehydrating potatoes. Raw potatoes are delivered by bulk trucks. Rocks and other foreign material are sorted out. The potatoes are washed, sized, and inspected. They are then placed in a holding bin until they are needed for processing. Potatoes are exposed to very high pressure steam for a short period of time. This process literally explodes the peel off. Blemishes are cut off, or the entire potato is discarded. Potatoes are cut into a standard size, ensuring that uniform processing throughout the rest of the preparation. The potatoes are pre-cooked in 165-degree water for 15 minutes. They are then cooked for 15 minutes in 60-degree water. This allows the individual potato cells to shrink and also toughens the cell walls. This ensures that cell damage does not occur during the remainder of the processing. Cooking is accomplished as the potatoes travel through a pressurized steam vessel for 20 minutes. The cooked potatoes are dropped into a bed of finished granules where the cells are gently separated in a series of mixers. At this point, several ingredients are added to enhance the finished quality and improve shelf life. The finished granules are conditioned over a roller to further enhance consistency and quality. They are then dried in a 2-stage drying process until the moisture content is 7 to 9%. Sifting is done to ensure that the finished granules are a uniform size. The finished product is then placed in 50-pound bags, cans, or laminated pouches based on the customer need. Here are some fun potato facts that I'm going to share with you. It would take over 293 million 4-inch French fries to go end to end around the Earth's equator. The average American eats 142 pounds of potatoes each year. This breaks down into 48 pounds of fresh potatoes, 59 pounds of frozen potatoes, which includes French fries and hash browns, 16 pounds of potato chips, 18 pounds of dehydrated potatoes, such as mashed potato flakes and au gratin potatoes, 1.7 pounds of canned potatoes. The potato chip industry survived World War II despite severe rationing restrictions because chips were the only ready-to-eat dehydrated vegetable at the time. And finally, the potato is the only vegetable that grows in the desert as well as in the mountains above 14,000 feet. On Sunday, Carol and I drove west of Idaho Falls to a place called Craters of the Moon National Park. Craters of the Moon formed during 8 major eruptive periods between 2,000 and 15,000 years ago. Lava erupted from the Great Rift, a long series of deep cracks called fissures that started near the visitor center and stretched 52 miles to the southeast. During this time, the Craters of the Moon lava field grew to cover 618 square miles. As further clarification, even though I mentioned lava, there were no tall mountainous structures erupting like Mount St. Helens near Olympia, Washington. The lava oozed from these deep cracks in the earth, forming mounds that are now just a few hundred feet tall. We picked up a map at the visitor center and then followed a well-built road around the park to the cinder cones and large areas of lava flow. There are 7 of these mounds identified as cinder cones. This is a video taken in windy conditions without a tripod showing the relative location of these cinder cones. From left to right they're Crescent Moon, Half Cone, Big Cinder Butte, Paisley Cone, Inferno Cone, Big Craters, and North Crater. Crescent Moon is the oldest of these cinder cones, created during the earliest eruption approximately 15,000 years ago. North Crater and the Big Craters cones were formed by the most recent eruptions approximately 2,000 years ago. This is some of the lava flow near the trail to the North Crater. This is the rim and inside of North Crater looking down from the rim. You can see the trail leading down to the bottom of the cone, but we didn't go that far. The majority of the trails in the park were blacktopped and very walkable, but approximately halfway to the top of the North Crater and then down to the inside the trail was cinder, which is like tiny pieces of gravel, so you had to walk very carefully. Here's some volcanic rock up close. Notice the air holes left when the volcanic gases escaped during cooling. Basalt is a hard black volcanic rock with low silica content. Because it has low silica content, it has a low resistance to flow, meaning that it can travel quickly up to 16 miles or more from the point it reaches the surface of the earth. You can see where lava was flowing like a river in this area. The road we are driving on was built across a dried lava bed, but you can see where the flow of lava continues on the other side of the road. Carol and I spent almost the entire day at Craters of the Moon. It's one of those places that should be on everyone's bucket list. It's a little out of the way, but if you're in southeastern Idaho, it's worth taking a detour to see it. On Monday, after spending Sunday visiting Craters of the Moon, Carol and I decided to drive 20 miles back down Interstate 15 to an area where we had seen what appeared to be lava along the interstate when coming into Idaho Falls. As it turned out, this area is at a rest stop at mile marker 101 and is called Hell's Half Acre. Hell's Half Acre is a 2,000-year-old lava flow encompassing 320 acres. So why is it called Hell's Half Acre? The name was given to it by fur traders in the early 19th century seeking passage through the rough terrain of the Rocky Mountains. The term Hell's Half Acre was a commonly used expression to describe rough land. Hell's Half Acre is on the eastern edge of the lava fields that we saw yesterday. The Wayside has done an excellent job of providing information about Hell's Half Acre. There was a half-mile handicap-accessible trail and a longer mile-and-a-half trail. Both trails had sidewalks and signs asking people to stay on the trail. And with that, we are done here in Idaho Falls, although all we did was sleep here. Idaho Falls is our last stop in Idaho, so we will be packing up tomorrow and then driving to Nevada on Wednesday. Idaho is the 24th state that Carol and I have visited together. If you like this video but have not yet subscribed, please do so to be notified of future videos, and as always, feel free to share with your friends. Thanks for watching.